Culture shock for me really is the growing pains of getting to know a new culture and getting to adapt to the societal norms of that new culture.
I think that culture shock comes in two waves of major differences such as language, religion, politics. And then there are more subtle parts of culture shock that come over time. And I think that it's processing all these things at once.
I think culture shock means just feeling disoriented and uncomfortable and out of place in a place that's not familiar to you.
I would say at first culture shock affected me immediately when I arrived, just by trying to orient myself to a new location, a new country, trying to understand how the currency worked, how people communicated, I think was the big culture shock right at the beginning.
I noticed every day that I was different.
And then it came in little bits throughout my entire study abroad, where I'd keep learning new little things that I didn't even realize were slightly different, but still important.
But I think just staying connected with your family, understanding that these feelings are normal and that it's something that's going to happen, that really helps.
Also laughing at myself.
What really helped me through culture shock was just depending on the people around me and trying to meet new friends and spend time with them.
And I think one really interesting way of dealing with culture shock is finding people there that you can find common ground with and relating, as well as keeping ties from your home.
Also, getting out every day and making it an adventure really helped instead of just sitting in my room. I thought back a lot of how long I wanted to go to South Korea. And so since I was there, I needed to make the most of it, and it got me out of my sadness or whatever I was feeling.
Reverse culture shock is coming back home and having to readapt to the home environment and going back to how things were before you left, which can be difficult because you've changed so much since leaving.
The culture shock that I experienced when I returned home was very unexpected to me. I'd always heard, oh, you might experience some shock when you came home, but I didn't expect it to be as prominent as it was.
What is difficult about coming home from an experience abroad is that the people that you love and know here at home have no points of reference about your experience abroad. They haven't lived there, they likely can't even imagine up an accurate understanding of your experience, and so it's kind of difficult to talk to people about your experience abroad because they just have no point of reference to be able to understand you at all.
I felt like in a lot of ways the reverse culture shock was more difficult than the culture shock I experienced going there.
Coming back to a place that was familiar and seems the same as when you left it, but you're different. And so you have to relearn that area as this new person.
I'm really grateful for the growth and the progression that I made throughout my time in Azerbaijan, but that came because I picked myself up and continued to lean into discomfort.
I think that one of the things culture shock and reverse culture shock taught me was how important it is to go through the hardship that culture shock can be to really become a more aware global citizen, to realize how diverse the world is and that my culture isn't normal. We're not the normal.
It's really hard to understand how many different ways there are to do things, to think, other than traveling abroad and actually living these new experiences. So for me, it's really transformed the way I look at the world.
My program has impacted me a lot. It's taught me so much about myself. I feel like it's also made me more confident and made me realize how capable I am in doing things that I didn't know I could do before.
Man, I feel like my life is going to be changed forever because of my experience in Baku. The people that I met, the ideas that I was exposed to have changed my desires for how I want to contribute to the world. It has changed the direction that I want to take with my education going forward, and then subsequently what I feel like I want to do professionally. Beyond the personal development that I gained a lot of while I was there, academically and professionally, this has changed my trajectory forever.